So there's two ways that you can add a subscription in TrackMySubs. There's a basic way, which we recommend for people just starting out. And then there's also an advanced way. And once you've been using it for a while, you'll probably find that the advanced way is quicker because you can enter in all your data in one screen without going through sort of a step-by-step process. But let's just start by adding in a new subscription and a basic way. So we'll just click new up here. Now we want a subscription, so we just select subscription. And then here we type in the name of the company. Now, this isn't what the subscription is used for. It's actually the company that is providing the subscription. So what I'll do here is I'll just choose Netflix. In fact, what I should show you here is that this automatically searches. So if you want to type in, if your company starting with the letter C, it'll automatically load up everything that's got the letter C in it. And as you, we'll just go, if I start typing, say Dropbox, you'll see that it'll start driving a whole bunch of companies. Now there's about 10,000 companies in the system. So it's most likely that you'll find yours there. But if not, and you've got a company, for example, that doesn't exist, you can see it come up here. And when you click this, it actually adds it in as a new company. But what we'll do here, let's just go back to Netflix. Just choose Netflix. Now the description is more about what you're using this subscription for. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put TV in the lounge room. And if you've got, say, Dropbox, for example, you might use Dropbox for a particular business or company, whatever you want to use it for. Now you'll notice here that the type subscription is already selected. Now this is actually pre-selected from the previous window when you could select subscription, trial, lifetime, or revenue. So you can just leave that as it is. But if you do get to this point and you realize that, oh, actually I wanted to choose one of the others, you don't have to go back, you can just change it at this point. So once you've done that, just hit next. Now the payment date is the next date that you're going to be billed for this service. So not the one that you started the service on, the next time that you're actually going to be charged for it. So let's just pick, the 30th of April. Next is the billing cycle. So this is very flexible. You can choose any billing cycle you like. Now by default, it's set up for every 1 month. Now what that means is that every month, this will renew. If it's every 2 months, for example, you could just change this to 2. It'll be every 2 months. Now, just down the bottom here, you'll see this little bit of text. It says this subscription auto-renews every 2 months from the 30th of April 2019. So this is sort of put in words what it is that you've selected. So for example, if I go back to here, change it back to 1, and I go to year, it'll renew every year from the 30th of April. Or I could say, let's do every 3 years. And this will auto-renews every 3 years from 30th of April. Now, if it doesn't auto-renew, you can just say no. So if it's just a 1-year subscription and then it will expire, this will then tell you that the subscription expires on the 30th of April. This also tells the system that not to automatically cycle it. And when you're doing your reporting later, it won't include any dollars associated with the subscription past the expiry date. So for the sake of this, I'm just going to leave it to auto-renew, and I'm just going to leave it to 1 month. Just go next. Now the cost. Now the key to this is to put the cost in the actual currency that you're paying it with. So if it's a subscription that comes out of the United States and it's in US dollars, I'm just going to put in $12, put in US dollars. Now, if you're not in the United States like myself, I'm in Australia, it's important that I put in the currency that I'm actually paying it in, because then our system will convert it back to my preferred currency, which is Australian dollars. And that's fantastic because you get to know exactly how much you're really paying with all the currency conversions, and the currency conversion is calculated daily, so it's always up to date. So I'm just going to pick this back to Australian dollars because that's what I'm paying. Let's go next. And then finally, it's selecting alert. Now, when you initially set up the system, you will have a default alert set. We do it by default, and it's set for 7 days prior. Now with your alerting, I always recommend to never do it 1 day before. Now the reason for that is that many subscriptions, they say it's a month, but what does a month mean? Is it 30 days? Is it 31 days? What if it's February? Is it 28 days, or does it go into the next month? It's very confusing what each company would actually call a month. So I always say, look, minimum of 3 days. I like to have it 7 days. If you're planning to cancel a subscription anyway, just do it in plenty of time. Don't wait for that last minute. If you know you're going to cancel it, just get it done. So if you click this button here that says, yes, use my default alert, the system's automatically set up for a 7 days reminder. Now you can go and change this setting at any time. It's in your settings, and we'll go through that later. Yes, use my default alert profile. Now, when you first start with TrackMySubs, you won't have an alert profile set. That is in the settings, and I'll have a separate video for that. Or you can choose custom alert, which if I click this now, it'll automatically come up, and I can choose any alert time frame that I like. Or I can say no thanks. Now, for the sake of this, I'm just going to say yes, use my default alert, and my subscription's been saved, and that's done. So if I click close, that's finished. And you'll see here, this is a subscription that I've just added in. So it's Netflix, it's the TV in the lounge room, it renews on the 30th April, and it's monthly. Now, if it was going to be 2 monthly, this would actually say 2 monthly. And you'll see this little bell icon here. That means that there's an alert set. So if I had selected no alert, then there wouldn't be a bell here. Now, here's the dollar value that I put in. And because it's Australian dollars and Australian dollars is my currency, then that will show exactly what it is. Now, if you look further down here, here's a subscription here that says $12 US. This number right here, this number right here is what $12 US is in my currency. So if there's a different currency that you've selected, then it'll show it up here, and then it will convert it using today's exchange rates into your own currency down here. And so that's it. That's how you add in a new subscription. So when you get a bit more advanced, if you come up here and click the advanced button, what this does is enables you to enter in a subscription completely with all the details plus a whole bunch more in one screen. And once you've been doing it for a while, you'll probably find that this is a lot easier. So if I was going to go Dropbox here, okay, sure, I can pick up Dropbox. I can change my cycle. Is my, maybe it's every 4 weeks or 4 monthly, whatever it might be, my value, my currency, all the details. And there's a whole bunch of other things in here too, around, contract expiry dates. Contract expiry date, for example, is, say you've got a mobile phone service or a cell service where you might be paying monthly, but you don't actually care about cancelling it monthly because you're on a 2-year contract. But what you are interested in, for example, is, well, what if my phone contract expires in a 1.5 years time and I don't want to just have it expire, or I want to change to a different provider? You can set a contract expiry date, and then you can set alerts against that expiry date that says, hey, your contract's going to expire. And then you don't have to receive any alerts about your payment date because you don't care about your payment date. You're going to pay it every month anyway. You can put a URL link in here to the service. Payment method, you can choose how you actually pay this, and these payment methods are set up in the system as well, and you can customize these to whatever you like. Now, this is really just a record, so it's not your actual credit cards that you're putting in here. It's just a record of what credit card or what system you're using to pay for that service, and they're completely editable as well. Folder, you can have this in any folder, and I can show you folders in a different video exactly how that works, and along with tags, you can organize by tags as well. Now, we also have notes, so you can type in any note you like, any sort of information that you want regarding that service, and you can then also add in your alerts and your contact manager. So you'll probably find that once you get used to it, this is probably where you're going to add in your subscriptions, because you'll probably know exactly what you want to put in, and you can just do it on the one screen. I'll close that off. All right, so that's it. That's how you add a subscription.